Hi YouTube world, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm Adrienne, I live in New York City and I love makeup. And if you love makeup, but in particular, if you love decluttering, stay tuned today because I did a massive declutter. I wanted to start the year off fresh and there were just a lot of products that I felt were confusing me, weighing me down, really not inspiring me. But much to my aesthetic, I don't like to just declutter willy-nilly. I like to have a real reason behind the why, not just because I have 1,000 palettes and I want to get rid of half of them. I want to know that that palette didn't work for me, why it didn't work for me, why it didn't inspire me, and kind of talk it out. So if you like thoughtful declutters, chatty declutters, come join me because I have a lot to talk about. I have over 100 products here. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this all in one video. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So let's kick this off. I'm super excited. Yay! And by the way, if you are curious about any of the products I have on my face right now, I will list them all down below in the description box. Without further ado, let's get rid of things. To kick it off, I guess I'll try to organize this in categories. The first being kind of the skin base products. I have quite a few, mainly primers, because I just realized primers really don't do it for me. There are very few primers that I need in my life, and I don't really see the purpose of a lot of them, and some of them just don't work on my skin. The first being those type of smoothing primers that mimic the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I have one from Hard Candy, so it's this sort of pale putty primer. These just don't do anything. They kind of slide around on my face and they pill up. I've used a little, I've used a lot, I've used everything in between. I never was even successful with the original, the Tatcha primer that everyone loved. So I have the Hard Candy. I also have the e.l.f. Poreless Putty, similar product. You know, maybe if that Tatcha product works for you, these will work for you. It's just a no-go for my skin and also the products that I use. I use very light tinted moisturizers, BB creams, CC creams, and I just feel like they don't interact very well with that product. Another grouping I kind of was experimenting with, I really like Laura Geller products, and I really fell in love with her powder foundations, the baked formula foundations. And so I tried out all her primers. I tried the Spackle Hydrate, the Spackle Original, as well as the Spackle Mattifying. What was incredible was I actually really loved the Spackle Mattifying because it wasn't terribly mattifying, but it did really fill in pores and it looks beautiful. It really looks beautiful. So I am gonna declutter the original, which I don't feel like it did anything for my skin. It wasn't a particularly great hydrator. I don't know, it was kind of like a non-starter for me. The Hydrate one, which I thought was gonna be very promising because I do have drier skin and I love to hydrate, especially around the perimeter of my face where that is where any kind of foundation will look really dry and cakey on me because that's where I have my dryness. No, it did not hydrate enough at all. And so for that reason, I'm letting these go. Other primers that didn't really work for me were these kind of like grip primers, the ones that are gel-like. I know people love the Milk Grippy Primer. I don't find that I have any longevity with these products. And so I did try the more economical one from Hard Candy. This is the Hydrating Primer, this grip primer. So again, kind of like a gel primer. It's nice that it's affordable. Again, if you use the Milk one, the Hydro Grip, and you like it, maybe this would be a nice affordable option for you. Similar to that one is also the Bear With Me by NYX. I had a little mini, nothing to write home about. I am also getting rid of a mini. I don't love this product. This is like very silicone-y smoothing. I know it's very famous, the Smashbox Photo Finish Smooth and Blur. This is like their original, but my mom really loves it, so I am going to give this one to my mama. This one here from Illamasqua is a matte veil. I had a sample of it. Again, not really a product for me, so I'm gonna just declutter it. Why am I gonna try it out when someone else can enjoy it? A couple of powders that I'm going to declutter. The CoverGirl Clean Fresh. This is actually a really nice product. I just don't powder my face too much, and so I much prefer my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pressed Powder. And this is very similar though. So if you're looking for just a nice translucent powder, I actually used it today to powder my nose, and it looks really nice. Another powder that kind of I was excited about, but in use, I didn't really see a big difference in it, is by Stila. It's this one here. Gorgeous, gorgeous packaging. One of my favorite packagings ever. Nice and slim, beautiful. It is a color correcting powder, and so it has all these colors in it. I actually really like the primer that is like this, the tri-colored primer. That one is great. It is great to kill redness in your skin. It's beautiful. I thought that this would do something like that, like be as effective, and unfortunately it just wasn't. Another powder I was very excited about. This is a bronzing powder from Essence. It's the Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder. It's a gigantic pan. It's wonderful. Great value, great value. It has a lovely soft coconut scent, different than the Physicians Formula scent, but it is actually too orangey on me. If I put this on, it just pulls very, very orange. I'm so sad. I wish I like the formulation, and I wish that the color was just a tiny bit more neutral, but it's not. And yeah, a couple of other bronzers, since we're in that category. These will be sort of shocking to me. They were shocking to me. The first are by Glossier. I have two of these. These are the Solar Paints in Flare and Ray. I am such a big fan of the Glossier Cloud Paints. I had been waiting forever for Glossier to come out with a bronzer in that formulation. Unfortunately, when they finally came out with a cream bronzer, it does not mirror anything of that formulation that I love so much in the Cloud Paints. They're very sheeny, and the colors are just not what I need them to be. I don't love the application either. It's a doe foot applicator, and I don't know. I'm not impressed at all. They don't have a great wear time either. And I mean, I was the kind of person who I purchased this the day they released because that's how excited I was. And it just didn't do it. It didn't do it. And it's, yeah, it's a little sad. So I'm going to let these go because I'm not enjoying them. And in fact, when I open my drawer and I look at them, they kind of make me sad and angry. So good indicator to kind of let something go when it does that to you. Food for thought. So this one here by Flower Beauty, this is the Celestial Elixir. This is very, very hydrating. It's like an oil that has a ton of shimmer in it. Though when you put it on your face and you put it underneath makeup, it just gives you a glow. It doesn't impart that kind of glitter. It's not terrible, and it actually has like a lovely scent to it. I really like it. I just don't use this type of product, and I found that when I used it and I used some of my favorite foundations over it, they did not sit nicer, nor did they kind of wear longer. It didn't do anything. So I feel like I'm adding another layer of product that isn't really doing much, that my skincare just doesn't already do. So for that reason, I'm gonna let it go. I mean, I could probably maybe put this in my project pan and use this as like a dry oil for the body. Let me experiment on the hand, please hold. So I just put that on my hand. Very nice, actually. Maybe I will keep this one around and I will just repurpose it for body care. I think this would actually look really nice on the legs. So this one is gonna get a second chance at life. A BB cream that I was super excited to try, and it is not good for my skin, is the Pearly's Perfect Glow BB Cream SPF 30. I have mine in the shade Fair. This is so thick. It's very, very thick. It's like true sunscreen. So kind of gives like that white cast vibe. Doesn't feel like it has much of a BB cream property, but just like a thick mineral sunscreen feel, and it's just does nothing for my skin. I am decluttering a product I love because I have one going and I won't be able to use this backup one before it goes bad, and that is the Glossier Future Dew. This is a very, very thick, oily, have dehydrated skin, and your skin, you just can't get it to hold hydration when you put on makeup products. They just kind of sit really flat on your skin. This is so good. And you only need the tiniest amount, which is why I'm decluttering it for now. I will repurchase this down the road, but I'm going to stop doing kind of stockpiling with makeup and skincare, because by the time I finish some makeup and skincare and I go into my stockpile, the item has expired. It's totally different in texture. So I'm not doing that anymore. I don't care what kind of sale I buy this on. I'm just not going to do that. So that's why I'm going to salvage this one and kind of give it to someone who is going to appreciate it right now and will use it right now, and down the road I will buy you again. Don't worry. Another disappointing product from Stila, and I'm not going to keep it around because again, it's just not something I'm going to use. I just wish they had better color combinations. It's this one here. It's this little putty duo. I love the putty formula. It's a beautiful formula. It's really, really easy to blend. I like this blush, but this bronzer is straight up orange on me. It just does not look good. I have worn it a few times, and every time I wear it, I love the application of it. I love everything about the product, the texture and everything, but the color, when I go out in natural light, I don't look natural. It looks so fake and wrong, and yeah, for this reason, I think this might suit some other person with a different skin tone than mine. A bronzer I had no business purchasing because their other product in this formulation never has worked out for me is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. The e.l.f. Putty blushes, I really love the colors, but they just disappear off my skin in a matter of like 45 minutes. It's really bizarre, has no long wear capabilities on my skin. There's just something in this product. And sure enough, their putty bronzer is the same. I have the color Tan Lines, and it's a great color. It's a very like neutral, sort of high-end, luxurious kind of color. And it is really nice, but for some reason, my skin just spits it out. It just spits it out, and I'm not reapplying bronzer throughout the day. You know, it's like blush. You're not going to carry around blush and bronzer. I guess there are some people who carry around blush and bronzer, but I'm not that person. So one of the best products I had, and I had a mini of it thinking this was going to be the right step for me, is the Milk Makeup Baked Bronzer. I love this stuff. The problem with it is it goes bad very, very quickly. So this is actually going to get trashed. I had the large one, I was using it up, then it turned. So I said, I'm going to repurchase the small one, and that way I will use it up. And I actually prefer the small one because it kind of sits really nicely. Like as you apply it, it's super easy to apply. But yeah, I didn't travel with it, and I wasn't home a lot this year. And so it just sat and got old, and that is just heartbreaking. It is a wonderful product. It basically blends itself. It's a flattering shade on so many skin tones. I can't recommend it enough. And I'm sad for it, but I'm going to repurchase it down the road when I've actually used up a lot of my other cream bronzers that are still good, that are still not smelling like Play-Doh, because that's what it smells like, really funky Play-Doh. As I was decluttering, I realized I am not a highlighter person. I need to remember that about myself, because I keep buying highlighters thinking I would become a highlighter person, but I'm not a highlighter person, and I'm not going to become a highlighter person. I have a lot of big pores on my cheeks, not texture. My skin is actually quite smooth there, but just large pores, and they emphasize it. And unless it's a cream highlight product, which I am keeping a couple of those, the powder ones just don't really do it for me. So the first one I'm decluttering is this one. So beautiful, the Moonchild palette by Anastasia. These are so creamy, such unusual colors, really beautiful. I thought, you know, potentially I might keep this around to use as eyeshadows. There's no way I'm going to remember to use this as an eyeshadow. I have a lot of glittery, beautiful eyeshadows in my collection, and I need to be using those singles. And a lot of them mimic that kind of iridescent, ghostly, beautiful vibe. So I'm gonna let that one go. I like barely touched it, so I know someone's really gonna love it. Along the same lines, I think I've wrestled someone for this product because it was so hyped up and I had to have it in my life. It is the Benefit Cheek Leaders Mini Bronze Squad. This one here, the reason I wanted this was because of Cookie. Everyone said how amazing Cookie is. Cookie, 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 Cookie. It has the Hoola bronzer. It has Cookie as the highlight. It's a pretty blinding highlight. And it also has Gold Rush. I don't love the scent of Gold Rush. It's very distracting to me, and the color is just okay. Cookie is too blinding for me. It just is too, I was gonna put it on, but no, I'm not going to. It's too much. It's too much for me. And Hoola is not my favorite bronzer. It just isn't. It's not, and so for that reason, like, this trio isn't really cutting it. However, this is a great trio. This is a great trio for someone. It's super slim, easy packaging. I know someone's gonna love this, so I'm not upset about letting it go and giving it to someone who will adore it. Famous Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This is a beautiful highlighter. I would keep this one. This would be the highlighter I would wear all the time if I had my druthers. I'm gonna put it on because it's so pretty. It's like a baked formula. It has this just ethereal glow. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I already have highlighter on. This is the problem. I have a cream highlighter on. But anyway, it's just very pretty. The reason I'm not keeping it is because I have a highlighter from Laura Geller that's baked, and it's like a split pan highlighter. It looks exactly like this highlighter. And what I like about that formula is it's not glittery either. It doesn't really accentuate my pores, and like this one doesn't either. I'll give this one credit. It doesn't. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. But between the two, I would use the Laura Geller before I use this. And so for that reason, I'm gonna declutter it. But it's a great highlighter. Another highlighter that I think I purchased because Kathleen Lights really loved it. It's a very pretty, also natural highlighter. It's from Clinique. It's a Clinique Pop Highlighter. Similar to the Essence one, this one is in Lunar Pop. It's a little bit blingier, but it's definitely more pearly than it is glittery. And it is really pretty. It's just, the Laura Geller one has my heart. It just does. I also purchased a couple of items from About Face Cosmetics, the Halsey brand, and one of the products I purchased is the Light Lock Powder in Smother. That's this one here. This is a lilac highlighter. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. But I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna enjoy it. and I'd rather someone use it and enjoy it than for me to just hoard beautiful makeup and just swatch it all day long, because I do have a full-time job and it ain't YouTube. Another highlighter that I didn't really get along with, and I thought I was gonna use it more as eyeshadow, which I did a few times, is the Diamond Balm from Fenty Beauty. I have this mini one. It's really beautiful. The formula is gorgeous. It's very much like a Super Shock shadow, but even like more oily. It's really beautiful. I mean, really beautiful. I thought that this would be really lovely on the eyelid with like a really bold lip. My problem with it is it doesn't, because it has that oily base and I have oily eyelids. Even if I use primer, it breaks down whatever primer I use and it will inevitably like kind of fall everywhere. I mean, this is made to be a face highlighter, but it's way too glittery for me. Even though the glitter is super, super fine, it's just not for me, unfortunately. But I think it's a beautiful product, really beautiful. Another powder, let's get on the Fenty train, things that didn't work, is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. This one here. This is just too mattifying for me, and I also picked up the wrong shade. This is too light for me. This is 120. This powder, though, it is super creamy, creamy powder, creamy powder. It is too light, and it just mattifies a bit too much for me. So for that reason, I'm gonna let it go. I have a mini of the NC20 Studio Fix powder by MAC. Geez, I used to wear this in high school all the time, and I tried some of this stuff, and this is like crazy. It's crazy coverage. I can no longer wear this. I can no longer wear this. This is not for over 40 skin, in my opinion. It's just too heavy. But if you're a teenager, get yourself to a MAC counter as you're going through your hormonal cuckoos and let them wow you with Studio Fix, because it is awesome. One blush duo that I really wanted this so badly, is from the Balm. This is the Balm Fire. I coveted this forever. It has two blushes. One is Dusk. You see that one here? Kind of peach with a gold, lots of gold micro glitter throughout. And then you open it again. It's magnetic. I love their packaging. I think the Balm has the Balm packaging. It's so cute. And yeah, I love it. And this is the shade Dawn. Now, I love the shade Dawn. I think it's a beautiful, nudie, sheeny blush, but I despise the peach one. Dusk is terrible. It's so glittery. All you see is glitter on your skin. I thought it was going to be more like Nars Orgasm, where it had a gold sheen, but it's really like a stronger peach blush. It's not like that. It's really glittery. And so I could depot Dawn, but truthfully, it's very reminiscent of Seychelles by Buxom, their Wanderlust blushes, and I love that blush, so I already have it. Another blush that I'm very surprised I didn't like, and I didn't really touch it too much because the shades are just a little too deep for my skin. This is by Laura Mercier. This was a holiday palette. It's beautiful, like embossed with this ribbon. It has the shades Peach, Rosé, and Grapefruit, which are all core shades of the blushes from her line. Actually have been toying around with one of her blushes. They come usually in this type of packaging. This is in Chai. And I'm not convinced I like the formula, which is shocking to me because I coveted this for so long, because this formula was on so many YouTubers' best of kind of lists, you know, best blush ever. And so I waited so long to purchase one, and I just thought this was going to be a great value for me, but the shades are too deep. I just don't like the way it sits on my skin. I have a feeling someone will really appreciate this, so I'm gonna let that go. And right now, like, I'm using Chai, but it's sort of on a bit of a chopping block. I'm gonna shop my stash throughout this year and really use products and kind of formulate a decent opinion about them. And if I don't like them, I don't like them. I don't have to like everything. You ever get that feeling like the world wants you to like everything? And when you don't, you feel like you disappointed the world. I don't care. I'm going to disappoint everybody. I don't care. Another kind of iconic shade I picked up is Lustre by Nars. It was okay. It's a little too powdery. It's not pigmented enough for me, and I just don't love it. Another blush that's a little ho-hum, even though I love a lot of their butter blushes, is this one by Physicians Formula. This was one of those like cute ones that came in these little faces, and I love the packaging. I wish they would do this to their regular butter products, make it thin like this, easy to store. This blush color though just didn't do it for me. It didn't sit very nicely on my skin. Has a bit of a sheen to it and was very, very baby doll and a little too creamy for me. Maybe if you have super dry skin and are even fairer than me, I think maybe this would work. Maybe. This is called the Butter Buddies Blush in Rosy. And I just think it's adorable, but I'm not going to use it because it's not flattering on me. Another blush that is not flattering is from Fenty. This is those highlighting sticks, the match sticks in Chili Mango. I have another one in a pink. I forgot what it's called. Pink Lemonade. And this one I love. This one's really beautiful. I like this one. But Chili Mango on me is a little too stark. It's a little too intense. It is this beautiful, beautiful orange shade with this sheen. I think on a deeper skin tone, wow. Wow, wow, wow. From that same line in Fenty, I'm also decluttering the matchstick in Amber. This is the contour shade. And it's really nice. The formula is very nice. It's stiff enough that if you put it on, it's not going to blend away, but it's going to let you blend it and it's going to stay put. I just don't contour. I don't contour. It's like coming to terms with, I don't really highlight too much. So why do I have 30 highlighters? I don't contour. So why am I going to have, 5, 6 contouring products? If I feel like contouring, I'm probably going to use a powder. And I have powders in palettes that I like something else about the palette. So I'm probably going to go down that road. I also tend to, like, if I'm going to contour, I'm going to use my bronzer and I'll pick a more neutral bronzer to contour with. So I hope that makes sense. A palette that just has reached the end of its life, but is one of those products that I would put in my wish list and down the road when my collection is much smaller and I feel like I'm back to traveling a lot, which I was traveling a lot for work, but then, I stopped traveling like completely, is this one by Smashbox. It's beautiful. It is the Cali Contour. I use this on so many trips and it's beautiful. It has beautiful highlighting shades. It has a contour shade. It has like a mattifying setting powder shade. Even on the eyes, this is beautiful. It's been a very long time and I can just tell the powder texture is a little bit different. This one here might shock a lot of people because, again, this is one of those products that everyone was like, it is amazing. It is perfect. You need it in your life. And I got it and I used it and I didn't feel that way. And I stayed quiet because I was like, something's wrong with my skin. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I don't love this. And it is that Duo Cream Powder Blush from Patrick Ta. And I have mine and she's so LA. So this almost looks like a bronzer, and I think it could be a bronzer. I could probably use it as a bronzer. My problem is I don't love the textures of the powder or the cream. Both of them kind of are middle of the road for me. I've worn it the way it's recommended by first applying the powder and then going on with cream. I've done it reverse. I have tried one or the other. I just can't really make this work for me. Again, you know, I do have very stubborn skin. I have found it spits some products out, and so sometimes these type of products that have a cream element in it, they don't really work that well for me. And so when I find a cream product that really works, I do sing from the mountaintops, because I think, you know, it might work for other people who have pretty stubborn skin. But that one just didn't work for me. And I was sad about it because I bought it very soon at its release and it just didn't work out. Another product that didn't work out for me, and I really wanted it to because I had waited a really long time to purchase this, is by Illamasqua. It is their Veil blush. It comes in these little pots and it's a very cool texture. This one here, it has the texture of kind of jello, like it feels like jello, and it's super pigmented. And I love the color too. It's a beautiful color. This is in the color Infatuate. It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. But again, is it my skin? Maybe, because so many people spoke so highly of this product for so long. Potentially, it's my skin. I found it to be a tiny bit patchy and difficult to blend into the skin and work, and then it just didn't quite last on me as long as I needed it to last. So for that reason, I'm letting it go. Sad. Also from Illamasqua, it is Gleam. It is an illuminating highlighter, cream highlighter. This one just feels kind of greasy to me, and it doesn't have a lot of color. It just doesn't do much. You see, it's like, it's really pretty, but as you put it onto the skin, it just barely there, and it stays kind of greasy on the skin, which is not good. Pretty cool kind of packaging. It's a stacked packaging from Wander Beauty. This is their Double Date Lip and Cheek in Sweet Talker and Swipe. And it has this corally blush on top, and then on the bottom it has this clear cream, this clear almost kind of Vaseline kind of thing. It even has a really nice mirror. This is nice. I love the packaging. I love this kind of clear component. Very nice. But the blush wasn't like a great color. I feel like I have this in other formulations that I like better. And the Vaseline highlight thing, not really for me. I know it says it's lip and cheek, but I'm not really going to keep something around like that that's also a lip product. I'm not a multi-purpose kind of person. I have to love each purpose for it to be multi-purpose. Actually, I will highlight a great example of one that is beautiful multi-purpose, and that is the Merit cheek color. These here, this is gorgeous. This is in the color Cheeky. This is a great blush and a great lip product. This is a whole package, and it's in this thing. So I actually do like multi-purpose things, but again, it has to work beautifully for both of the purposes, not like one better than the other. I love this formula. It's a beautiful formula. It's by MAC. It is their Glow Play blushes, and this is in Heat Index. And I mean, it's beautiful, putty formula, very easy to apply, very easy to blend. I can make this work, but I have to be so light with the color, and it's so easy to go overboard. And this is not made for my skin tone. I mean, let's get real. This is made for someone with much more pigment in their skin. I'm letting go of this Dew Drops from Marc Jacobs in Your Dew. I just had this for a really long time. This is actually a really beautiful formula. Marc Jacobs had some of the most beautiful formulas of products, and I am so sad that they are no longer, because I really do think they were cutting edge in terms of from their packaging to just the timing of their releases. They didn't overwhelm the market with releases. I just really loved a lot of products, and I loved this product, but it is getting quite old. It's not really working the way it did. It's a very pretty highlight though. For those who don't love highlight, it is like a gel formula. You see it right there, very kind of natural. Smells a little funny. Telltale sign, it's time to let something go. But yeah, pretty bummed out about that. If you like this type of product, the Saie Beauty, I just started using that and I feel like it has a lot of the same components, kind of this thinness, gel based, sits really nicely over makeup, under makeup, even over powdered makeup. So food for thought there. These little rosy drops by Drunk Elephant, this is a blush, but it's also skincare. I love the idea of that. The problem with this product is it's a beautiful color, but you have to use a lot, and as you're blending it, it sort of blends away. You see, I just blended it away. I blended it away. So you can get through a lot of this. It leaves the skin really nice, like this really nice texture. But if you want to use it as blush, you have to kind of go a little heavy-handed. And then again, my skin kind of breaks it down and it doesn't play well with a lot of my favorite foundations. And so it's not for me. I do like the idea of it though. Something that was in like my backup drawer, and I should just, again, let it go now while it's fresh. I love this product. I think it's a great tinted moisturizer. It's by Colourpop, pretty fresh, hyaluronic tinted moisturizer. This one here, it's brand new in the shade 5N. Really love it. But I have nearly a full bottle and I am never gonna get to this at the rate that I'm going. I just have too many open tinted moisturizers. I am leaving the best for last. The most shocking probably to a lot of people. This is by Lisa Eldridge. I am a big fan of Lisa Eldridge. Favorite makeup YouTuber of all time. I love her makeup aesthetic. I watch her tutorials. I've learned so much from her. I love supporting her brand. Her lipsticks are wonderful. Do you see where I'm going with this? I am very apologetic for not loving this product. And this is these blushes. This is the Enlivening Blush. I have the colors Pink Soap and Venetian Red. I purchased these upon release, like release minute. But these were very difficult for me to use. I think that there is something wrong with the formula. Formula is too thick. It is nearly impossible to squeeze out a bit of product from the tube. So I have to squeeze. I'm squeezing, and barely anything's coming out. And then the product that does come out, it's very kind of dry. You have to squeeze this. So this is so firm. I'm pressing this, this feels like clay. It's that consistency. And I have like sat on this product before I've used it to try to kind of warm it up. I have massaged it because I find that sometimes there's an oil component in this and it splits. In fact, the first time I opened this, it was already split. I've tried, and the colors are beautiful, but I do think that something happened in the lab. This is the Venetian Red. Look how beautiful this is. Like, look at that. It's gorgeous. I feel like down the road, these will come back in her shop and they would be reformulated. I have a feeling they're going to reformulate this and they're going to thin it out because they have to thin it out. It's too thick. It's almost like a pure pigment. And I don't find them to be user friendly. So that is it for face products, base products. I have a whole other box that is filled with eye products and lip products. I feel like I'm going to do this in probably 3 parts. I think the eye stuff is going to take a while and the lipsticks and lip products are going to take a while. If this content interests you, if how I declutter was interesting to you, then consider subscribing. Hit the thumbs up button, say hi. I love saying hi. And we will talk soon. Okay, take care, everyone.